Hi, so moving forward with the series of green chemistry principles. Hi, I am Dr. Neha and today I am going to discuss about principle number 7. हमने अभी तक 6 प्रिंसिपल देख लिए हैं. आज हम देखेंगे 7th प्रिंसिपल and this way we are going to cover all 12 principles. So very short video explaining you principle number 7. Let's start. So in this principle they say that you have to use renewable feedstocks. Let us understand the word use. Obviously renewable is renew plus able and feedstock is feed plus stock. So what is feedstock? Is what you feed as a stock. That means your initial raw material, whatever starting material which you use in order to convert it into product. That raw material is feedstock. You feed it as an inlet, right? And renewable means it is able, you are able to renew it. So it's a biomaterial anyhow, which you can the cycle is complete. You are taking from environment and you are giving back to environment. So the degradation is possible. It will again go to the environment. So that is what green chemistry says about, right? So the official statement is a raw material or feedstock should be renewable rather than depleting whenever technically and economically practicable. So wherever practicable, if you're making a product, try to use a raw material which is degrading, which can degrade, which can be renewed, right? That is why you're going to make your product overall green. Let us see some examples. Like, I think you're able to understand, this is corn, and when you extract starch from corn, and you can ferment it and you are going to get a fuel. I hope you know it's bioethanol. So bioethanol is a classic example of following principle number 7, because this is what the product is. What is the raw material? The feedstock is, you want starch, and that you have extracted from the renewable thing, corn. So you're taking from the environment, you're giving to the environment. And same goes with biodiesel also. Biodiesel also can be prepared from any type of oil, and that is how it is also having a renewable feedstock. Any type of oil can be trans-esterified to give you biodiesel. Any type of starch extracted from corn or sugarcane or something can be converted into bioethanol, and they both are a good classic example of biofuels which can replace conventional petrol and diesel respectively. Biodiesel is blended with diesel and bioethanol is blended with petrol. So even if we are like using 80% petrol but we are blending 20% it with bioethanol, that saves 20% of the petrol. And same goes with let's say 85, that means bioethanol is 85% and rest 15% is diesel. So if we try with blending these things with biofuel, we are going to save petrol and diesel. That is one of the example. Now basic thing is you have to use a feedstock which is a biomaterial. You extract your hydrocarbon from it, you just do that reactions. You can take singly functional compound or you make it highly functional molecule. Let us start with examples. Two more examples. One of the example is PLA, which is polylactic acid for plastic production. Now we all know that plastic is a huge problem because it's not degrading. But now if you utilize principle number 7 and use a feedstock which is renewable, so use the starting material which is renewable, obviously you're going to get back to the environment again. So that is how it is a green product. You can take corn, extract starch from it, ferment, and with a little polymerization you'll be able to make a polymer which can be utilized for further applications. Coming to the second example in the same category, which is like plastics, PHA, polyhydroxyalkanoids, can also be prepared using a crop material and sugar, fermentation and little polymerization. And this is how the product can be degraded because it is made from a renewable reagent. So it is degraded to CO2 and H2O and nothing is left in the environment. So that is helping. In fact, at the same time, I would like to tell you, like, I have also made a plastic, you may say, bioplastic I have prepared from wheat. And I extracted the gluten portion from the wheat. I hope you know wheat contains starch also and protein also. So I removed that starch portion by washing it with water, and I took that protein portion of wheat, and by little polymerization using different solvents, I used it to make a bioplastic, and that looks similarly like that of plastic. I undergone that degradation study also. Just took a soil compartment, dipped my bioplastic and dipped the original conventional plastic, and I found that within 45 days my plastic was degraded. It was no more in the soil, while the plastic was still there. So plastic is still there. In fact, it remains there in the earth for around 100 hours or so, 100 years or so. So that's a problem, right? So one more, let's say adipic acid synthesis, synthetic product adipic acid. Conventionally you prepare it using benzene, which is obviously a non-renewable resource. It's a carcinogenic compound. It causes cancer. But when you switch to a microwave method, you can simply use a renewable feedstock, which is glucose, and at the same time it's environment friendly and obviously biodegradable. Coming to the next example is biodegradable plastics. Again, coming to bioplastics, because lot many research is going on in bioplastics. Like one of the researchers of Nature Work of Minnesota, and they have made PLA brand NGO, and they have used microorganism, actually bio catalysts also can be used, bioenzymes can be used. So microorganisms are used to convert that starch into a resin, and that was used to prepare the bottles and like that. And at the same time, BASF also have developed a film called EcoFlex. Using that, they made a fully biodegradable Ecovio, which is made up of that film, and along with cassava starch and calcium carbonate. This bag is fully biodegradable, so it disintegrates into water, CO2 and biomass. It is also having good properties like it's waterproof, tear resistant, printable and elastic. So with these, I think in coming few years we are going to get alternatives to the plastic in the market. That's one of a good kind. Let us go ahead with few more examples. Bio paints are in the market. Oil-based paints normally give large amount of VOC, which is volatile organic compound, and when it dries, it comes up in the atmosphere, and it is having serious effects on our health also. You might have observed the smell coming out of your paints. That's because of VOC. So now people are working on it, like Procter and Gamble have prepared like a mixture of soya oil and sugar, and by that they have cut off the hazardous volatile by 50%. The oil which they have made is Campol MPS paint formulation, and they've used bio-based cephos oil to replace that petroleum-based solvent. Now imagine that paint does not emit less of the VOC, at the same time produce less toxic waste. Similarly, one more example is by Sherwin-Williams. They have developed water-based acrylic paint with low VOC, and they have made it using recycled soda bottle plastic, acrylic and soybean oil. Again, it's going to give many benefits. So I think with those many examples you're able to understand the principle number 7, which is use of renewable feedstock. तो जहाँ जहाँ पॉसिबल है, आप जो भी प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं, इफ़ एट ऑल पॉसिबल, try to find out a raw material which is completely renewable, so that the overall product becomes green. With that, if you are able to understand principle number 7, please hit like of the button of the video. That will give me motivation. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video.